Following the recent approval of the vaccine by Moderna for emergency use by the Ministry of Health and Prevention, the UAE now has a fifth vaccine that is introduced in the country. The vaccine is reported to have a high efficacy rate of 94%. It was introduced by the United States and first authorized for emergency use by the Federal Drugs Authority on December 18, 2021. Earlier this year, the US had also announced plans to distribute over 80 million doses globally by the end of June this year. So let's take a look at how it works. Like the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, Moderna also uses mRNA technology. This means that the vaccine is based on the virus's genetic instructions for building the spike protein to trigger an immune response. After the injection, the vaccine particles bump into cells and fuse to them, releasing the mRNA. The cell's molecules read its sequence and build spike proteins. Some of the spike proteins form spikes that migrate to the surface of the cell and stick out their tips. The vaccinated cells also break up some of the proteins into fragments. When a vaccinated cell dies, the debris will contain many spike proteins and protein fragments, which can then be taken up by a type of immune cell called an antigen-presenting cell. When other cells called helper T cells detect these fragments, the helper T cells raise the alarm and rally other immune cells called the B cells to fight the infection. The antigen-presenting cells can also activate another type of immune cell called a killer T cell to seek out and destroy any coronavirus-infected cells that display the spike protein fragments on their surfaces. Moderna's vaccine requires 2 injections given 28 days apart to prime the immune system well enough to fight off the virus. Moderna also announced they will be producing 800 million to 1 billion doses in 2021 and plan to manufacture 3 billion doses in 2022. Moderna's vaccine will also need to be refrigerated and should be stable for up to 6 months when shipped and stored at -4 degrees Fahrenheit or -20 degrees Celsius. This approval for the emergency use comes as the UAE also overtook Seychelles to become the world's most vaccinated nation.
As per the latest studies, it has been proven that the Moderna vaccine is highly effective against Delta and Delta Plus variants. Both these variants have been identified by WHO as variants of concern. Many countries affected by this are forced to impose lockdowns. So this timely approval might help us to overcome this deadly variants.